A very good evening. Welcome to Premier League Live for our final game this Saturday afternoon here on LFS. And what a great afternoon it has been already. We'll talk about all the results from 3 o'clock at half time as well as the early kick-off. But it is focus on Arsenal against Leeds United at the Emirates Stadium. And after both sides claimed 1-0 victories in opening weekend, they'll be hoping to keep that 100% record. Well, it's not just been on the field that Arsenal will be in action this evening. They have done some work off the field as well. Some big breaking news coming through this evening is that Arsenal have signed Ebere Eze from Crystal Palace for a fee worth up to £67.5 million. He's just been unveiled at the Emirates, and they have their man to Arsenal. They kind of hijacked it from Tottenham Hotspur. Well, we'll talk more about Ebere Eze as well at half-time. Let's get to the team news, though, for this one this evening. David Raya starts in goal, a back four of Urian Timber, William Saliba, Gabriel and Ricardo Calafiori, an unchanged defence from last week's 1-0 win at Manchester United. After Timber came in for Ben White, Ben White was injured, so is missing this game. Zubamendi, Rice and Odegaard continue in the midfield with one change in the forward line as Noni Madueke makes his first Premier League start for Arsenal as Martinelli drops to the bench, Bukayo Saka on the right and Victor Gyökeres making his home debut for the Gunners. On the bench, Kepa, Mosquera, Lewis Skelly, Kivior, Nwaneri, Marino, Martinelli, Trossard and the youngster Diamond is on the bench. For Leeds United, as I said, they also won 1-0 on opening weekend. Perry starts in goal, a back four of Jadon Bogle, Joe Rodon, Pascal Struijk and Gudmundsson all in defence. Ilya Gruev comes in for the injured Ethan Ampadu, who injured in his knee against Everton on Monday night, so he's out. So Gruev is in. Tanaka and Stack also continue in midfield with that same front three of Dan James on the right, Willie Gnonto on the left, and Joel Piroux through the middle. On the bench, Darlow, Bijol, Byram, Bernot, Longstaff, Aronson, Harrison, Nemecha, and new signing Noah Okafor. It is Arsenal against Leeds United in the Premier League this Saturday evening, and kick-off is next. A very good evening. Welcome to the Emirates Stadium for this one between Arsenal and Leeds, where there was currently a moment of applause for Richard Carr, who has passed away. Very well known to Arsenal fans and the Arsenal Football Club, as North London Forever will ring around this stadium. They're back at home, are Arsenal, after that tough opening weekend result. They got the win done. They had to work for it. Ricardo Calafiori's header from a corner sealed the deal for Arsenal against United. For Leeds, it was a penalty that sealed the deal against Everton on Monday night. In the end, Lucas Mecha came off the bench and scored a penalty. I just saw someone in the crowd. It's made me laugh. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. That would be greatly appreciated. We're all but ready to go then. The Emirates Stadium in North London. Arsenal looking to make it 2 wins from 2. But can Leeds upset them for them to make it 2 wins out of 2? We get underway here this afternoon. Well, the other two newly promoted sides have gone 1 win and 1 loss from their first 2 games after Burnley beat Sunderland earlier this afternoon, and both sides had contrasting results last weekend. Will Leeds join their fellow promoted sides in winning 1 and losing 1? Will they buck the trend? We'll see this afternoon. Of course, we expect Arsenal to dominate possession and to have a lot of it, but you never know. Anything is possible. Of course, Arsenal were busy in the week at the PFA Awards. William Saliba, Gabriel and Declan Rice were all in the mix. All showing up at the PFA Awards. Here is Victor Gyökeres, who had a quiet game at Man United last week. Failed to register a shot, did Victor Gyökeres. I'll be surprised if that trend continues this afternoon. Here's Jurrien Timber to take this throw in. He comes into the side. Ben White, who got injured. So Ben White is out for this one. And that's why Jurrien Timber comes in at right back. And Jurrien Timber you would expect to be the right back that is most suited to Arsenal and probably play most of the games this season. Gabriel. Here is Ødegaard to Bukayo Saka. Works it back to Timber. Looking for the switch ball. Goes for that. Taken down by Madueke. Lovely little touch. Breaks into the box and has a go. And that's straight down the throat of Perry in the Leeds goal. But it was a nice switch ball by Jurrien Timber. Madueke just broke out to that left-hand side. Got a bit of space between him and the fullback in Jadon Bogle. And as he tiptoed into the box, he had a go from a narrow angle. And it was a straight strike and a good save, comfortable save for the Leeds goalkeeper. Already showing their early intentions though there, Arsenal, in this one. As you can see down the left hand side, all the scores from the weekend's game so far. All 3 home wins from our 3 o'clockers, all keeping clean sheets, all of those teams, and all begin with B. To boot as well. Bournemouth 1-0 winners over 10-man Wolves. Brentford winning for their first game of the season away at home to Aston Villa. And Burnley their first games, goals and points of the season. Here come Arsenal. Ricardo Calafiori with a cross. Blocked away by Rodon. And down the line by Bogle. Here is James. Finds Tanaka. He tried the ball round the corner, but nicely poked away by the Arsenal defence. And that goes out for a Leeds throw. One thing I was impressed with when it comes to Leeds last week or a Monday night when we watched them against Everton was how well they moved the ball in tight areas and got the ball from back to front. Of course, a very different task. They're not at home. They've against a much tougher opposition in and out of possession. But the way they moved the ball from back to front, Leeds, in that first half against Everton was really blissful. It lacked the finish on the end of a lot of it. And Saliba has to evade Willie Gnonto there. That goes out for a Leeds United throw in. And on this left hand side, Andy says, dreadful FPL so far. Let's hope Arsenal can improve my lot. Well, yeah, I have David Raya and William Saliba, I think, in this one. Or is it Gabriel? One of the Arsenal defenders. Timber, nice ball forward. Flicked on towards Gyökeres. Nice interceptor, but Declan Rice breaks in to win it back. And he's played it out wide here to Noni Madueke. Madueke inside to Ødegaard. Ødegaard will strike. It's Joe Rodon with the block. Now Tanaka. Under duress from Gabriel. Good battling. Ødegaard wins it back. Lays it out wide to Noni Madueke. And Arsenal will keep the possession down this left-hand side. Yeah, David Raya and William Saliba in this one. And Victor Gyökeres, by the way, actually. So, my FPL team's more or less all banking upon Arsenal getting a victory here tonight. And a clean sheet, but we'll see what happens. Here is Rice to Zubimendi. Back to Saliba. And now to Ødegaard. Skips into the middle. Odegaard, he's just going to lay it out wide to Gabriel as Arsenal continue to probe inside the Leeds half. Zubimendi. Home Premier League debuts for a few of those Arsenal players out there. And that's a cheap giveaway, but it's one back. And then it's stolen back, and then it's one back again. A bit of to and fro in between the two teams as the ball falls for Saka on the right-hand side. He chops onto his left. He's not given any time or space to have a shot. And then as Leeds try and win it back, it's going to be a foul here against the Arsenal player in Zubimendi, and that's going to be a free kick to the Gunners, which Jared Gillett, the referee, has handed out. Yeah, Goodmanson did well there. He's trying to battle, and then he just comes right through the back of Zubimendi. It's just a foul. There's the new man, the new number 10, Eberezer, unveiled just before kickoff as the new number 10 who takes over the shirt from many a famous player here at Arsenal. Dennis Bergkamp, probably most notably. Rice, tricky little set piece, goes out wide to Saka, bodies around the back post. Saka works it back to Odegaard. Now back to Saliba, who wasn't in the box in that time. Now Odegaard again, the captain. Left-footed, lofts it into the box, well headed away by Rodon, but no one there for Leeds to try and get it forward. And William Saliba comfortably retrieves. It's been all Arsenal in the early moments, all Arsenal possession. Gyökeres does well to hold off the challenges and distributes it well. Zubimendi. Gabriel switching the ball out to Saka, who's in acres of space down the right. He's got Goodmanson for company, cuts it back inside. Odegaard with a shot that flashes narrowly wide of the right post. Good play again from Arsenal. They switch that ball out wide, this time from left to right. Saka hugging the touchline. Goodmanson does break out to him, but as Saka chops inside, he cuts it back for Odegaard around about the edge of the box, and he has a strike at one with his left foot, and as I said, just flashed wide of that right post, low and hard. Positive from the Gunners there. Leeds again trying to play out, getting caught there, and Strike does play it back to Perry in the goal. Gyökeres trying to put Perry under pressure. So he tried to play it out wide to Bogle, but it's given away to Noni Madueke, who was hacked down there by Jayden Bogle. That's going to be a free kick, and I think that might be a yellow card for the Leeds defender. It is going to be, and that's completely the correct decision. Bogle knew he was done in there, and he was never getting to that ball. Again, it's pressure from Viktor Gyökeres, who presses the goalkeeper into putting a really hard ball out wide for Bogle. He makes the header, he keeps it in play, but he just can't keep possession of it, and Madueke's there to just steal it away from him, and Bogle comes right through the back of Madueke. And it's definitely a foul and a yellow card for the Leeds right back. And now, this free kick for Arsenal to the left-hand side, not too far out from the edge of the box. Rice and Odegaard over this one. Started really positively, Arsenal. On the front foot, as you would expect. So it's Odegaard that will take. Left-footed, fizzed in. Away by Bogle at the near post. And out for the throw in to Arsenal on this left-hand side. Well, Arsenal are unbeaten in their last 42 Premier League home games against newly promoted teams. Winning 37 of those 42, drawing the other 5. Here's Saka. Up against Goodmanson, gets past him, whips the ball in. It's kept alive by Calafiori, who goes down. Referee is moved, says nothing. Rice with the ball in, Saka trying to dive for it. If only he was a couple of inches taller there, Saka. Goes behind for a goal kick. With applause from Mikel Arteta. His side have started with energy, with pace and with power. Saka's delivery in, comes to Calafiori. battling with Dan James. There's very little contact there. He goes to ground very easily there, Calafiore. He gets back to his feet with the ball still in his possession. He cuts it back to Rice at the edge of the box, and he whips it in. Yeah, he's waiting for the contact there, Calafiore. Never a penalty. Rice whips it in, and it's just too high for Saka. But he was diving for it, the Arsenal winger. Gruev. Nice hold up there by Piru. Nonto. Rare possession for the Leeds attackers there for a moment. Sent flying up the field. Nice layoff there by Ao Tanaka. And here's Anton Stack. Switching it out to the right side. Here's Dan James. First real moment in the final third for Leeds. Dan James with a shot low and hard. Cleared away. Gruev picks it up again for the visitors. It's a little bit better. First real foray forward for Daniel Farker's team. Stack. Back to Rodon. And now Struijk, who will just reverse it back to the goalkeeper, who will send it firing long. One for Piru to chase up against Gabriel, and Gabriel did just enough to hold off Joel Piru, and the ball came sailing through to David Raya. And Sigma Boy says Arsenal. And so far Arsenal have started really strongly on the front foot, in good possession, although that wasn't quite strong from Gabriel there. It's going to be a Leeds throw down the right hand side. Struijk all the way back to the keeper again. Perry to go long again, this time a bit left towards Nonto, but that's a hot one, and Saliba leaves it to let it bounce out for the throw. Wanting to see his team a little bit further up the field if they can in possession. They're going right back to their keeper no matter what possession they have at the minute, Leeds. Need to be a little bit more positive when they have the ball, because it's not going to be often they're going to get forward. And they're going to have the ball, and they're going to have to use it wisely. Here's Ødegaard. Nice little reverse pass. Madueke tried to lay it off first time. Intercepted by Tanaka. Now Gruev. Bogle. All the way back to the keeper again. Swinging it out to the left side for Gudmundsson. Plays it inside. Piru beaten to it by Saliba. And now Timber just losing out there to Willie Nonto as he battles for it back. It goes out for a Leeds, for an Arsenal throw. And Ødegaard breaking through there gets thrown to the ground by the Leeds midfielder. It's going to be a free kick. Anton Stack there committing that foul. Yeah, Leeds were wanting a foul on Willie Nonto initially, but it's nothing in that. And then it's just a late challenge by Anton Stack, just bundling the Arsenal captain to the floor. It's definitely a foul. And Ødegaard's holding his face at the moment. His nose should be okay, but is there an issue with his nose? He's up and should be okay. Well, there's a man who wishes he was on the field of play. Out through injury, Kai Havertz. That's partly one of the reasons why they've gone in to get a Bereza so quickly, Arsenal, this summer, and do the business. Make sure they still have enough attacking numbers, because that's what let them down at the end of last season. It was just falling away with forward injuries. They just couldn't sustain their quality toward the end of the end of the season. Free kick here. Inside the Leeds half. Rice is over it. Right-footed delivery, deep in. Header flicked on, but off target. Well off target there from Gabriel. And that's a goal kick to Leeds. Yeah, decent delivery by Rice, but Gabriel didn't do much with a header. Well, as I said about Arsenal's unbeaten run against newly promoted sides, 42 games they're unbeaten against newly promoted teams. Their last such defeat came in a 1-0 loss to Newcastle back in November 2010. As you see this again, something happened there that Leeds almost caused their own issues. We saw this earlier with Man City. It's Perry here, plays it to Struijk. Struijk gives it to Stack, well closed down by Zubamendi, and it fell to Gyökeres, who on the half turn forced it well wide. Playing out from the back and well pressed and sliding for it there, Gyökeres, off target. But my goodness, you'd think Leeds would know better than to do something like that out from the back, and they're very lucky. As I was saying, Arsenal's last defeat to an early promoted team in the Premier League came in a 1-0 loss to Newcastle back in November 2010. And they would equal the Premier League longest run without losing at home against promoted teams, which is 43, if they fail to lose here against Leeds tonight. Chelsea hold that record, and that was between 2001 and 2005. Raya. Saliba. Odegaard gives it back to Zubamendi, now to Gabriel. Now Odegaard again. The conductor in the midfield there is Martin Odegaard. Here is Rice. Here he is again, Odegaard. Linking up the passing play for Arsenal. Out to the right hand side comes Saka. Timber on the overlap, but Saka cuts back inside. Now out to Timber. Odegaard again. No real option there out wide for Zubamendi. He could only put it out of play for a throw to Leeds. He was expecting Saka to be down that right side, or even Timber, but neither of them were. Both had made inside moves, and there was no one in red shirt out there. So a throw into Leeds. Goodmanson down the line, trying to target Peru. Leeds give it away cheaply, not able to recover. Here's Noni Madueke, rolls it through towards Gyökeres, who was just about beaten off it by Jadon Bogle, who was back there defending. And Leeds win the throw in off Madueke, trying to close Bogle down. See it again, it's from the Leeds throw. They're a bit of head tennis, and the ball comes through, falls for Noni Madueke somehow, and it comes through to Gyökeres, just carried wide and then beaten off it by Jadon Bogle. Good defending by the Leeds defender. And they're on the move here. Dan James in a tight space, bundled to the ground by Rice, and that's going to be a Leeds free kick. Tanaka take the free kick for Leeds and go all the way back to the goalkeeper again. Really negative from Leeds. Really negative in those moments. I mean, you get a set piece halfway up the field. Why decide to go back to your goalkeeper and just give that up? Well, there's a nice move there. Nice touch by Nonto. Finds Stack. Stack to Dan James into the box. Dan James has a go again. Gets a bit greedy. Has a shot deflected behind. Will be a corner, I believe. It went the right side of the corner flag. Yeah, it did. Corner. Yeah, Dan James snatched at it. He's taking those shots early. He did that earlier when he got into the box. Shooting on sight, in a way. There was other options available. Leeds have it up the field with their first corner of this game. What can their set piece do to Arsenal? Arsenal love to score from set pieces. What are their defending like? Ball into the box. The header! Great save by Raya. What a reactionary save from Pascal Struijk's header. See this again. Fabulous delivery. Wonderful whip ball. And Struijk gets away from his marker in Gabriel, which you think should be hard enough in and of itself. Breaks away. He rises high. Free header. And he gets a good header to it. It's close enough to the keeper that Raya throws a right hand at it and palms it over for another corner. Great save. Anton Stack over to take this corner. Left hand side for Leeds. Right footed, near post. Cleared away that time by the Gunners. And they put themselves under pressure here, Leeds, because Gyökeres in a chase with the man. And he's not going to get the second touch. He did the first, but That's good recovering from Dan James, just to keep the ball in his team's possession. A moment there for Leeds. And a good save by David Raya to deny Pascal Stroik, but that was a glimpse of what Leeds can do if they can get forward. You got to say, in the first half against Everton, that's what I said about them. They were blistering when they come forward. Their movement between the lines was really impressive. But it was the final end product that was lacking. And it was, barring a great save, it could have been 1-0 to Leeds United. Here they come now. Nice little moves in between the lines now. It's given them confidence that moment. Here is Dan James down the right side. Cuts to the byline, cuts it across. And David Raya came for it. Collided with Willie Nonto. I think it might go for a goal kick here, but David Raya is in a bit of pain. We'll see this again. Good delivery by Dan James. Chipped into the box, and Raya was trying to get his hands to it. Kind of clapped together and cleared it away. And then I think Nonto's actually been given the foul against him here. As he was... he had a right to win the ball, if I'm honest, but just too much. And David Raya with a little bit of shoulder issue there for a second. He's up and okay to continue, but he's been asked a few questions in the last minute or so as the Arsenal keeper, and they were given the free kick there, the home side. Right, in no hurry. Really in no hurry. He's waiting for that man Declan Rice to come back into midfield and to play the ball to him to help Leeds get, or to help Arsenal get forward here. Rice to Saliba. Zubamendi. Saliba leads on the press now. Saliba chips it over the top, looking for Gyökeres, and well cut out by Pascal Stroik. And got ahead of the Arsenal striker there. I gotta say, Leeds have had a decent spell in the last few minutes in and out of possession, but you think of the blistering start that Arsenal had, they just kind of slowed it down a little bit, and they've lost their rhythm. And Saka couldn't keep that one in play from Odegaard. Overhit from the Arsenal captain. It's gone out for a throw. It's all about rhythm. It's all about momentum. It's all about using that to your advantage. And Arsenal started really brightly, really on top, and all over Leeds in those early moments. Had a few glimpses at goal, but since that point, in the last 5 minutes or so, they've been much better competitive Leeds, and they did well there, Rodon, as Calafiori tried to find it through to Gyökeres, but it well defended by the Welshman back there for Leeds United. Zubamendi. Saliba. Down the right hand side to Bukayo Saka. Plays it inside to Timber. Now Rice. Saka again. Good combinations. Saka cuts it back to Odegaard, edge of the box. He's going to loft it to the back post. Manueki with a flick. But it's gone out of play, goal kick. Well, Leeds' last victory at Arsenal came back in 2003 on the 4th of May when they won 3-2 at the Emirates Stadium in the first season of the stadium back then. And funnily enough, they were wearing blue and yellow on that day. Were Leeds in their away strip, and they won 3-2 back in 2003. It was their last victory against Arsenal. Since then, in all competitions, Arsenal have beaten Leeds in 6 of their 7 meetings since. The other one was a FA Cup draw in the third round of the FA Cup in 2011, which they went to a replay after that. But 6 of the 7 games in all competitions since have all been Arsenal victories. Stroke down the left-hand side, cut out well by Saka as he lofted it over the top. Gruyev coming back, and he heads it back to his goalkeeper with a little bit of ease there to Leeds United. Ilya Gruyev comes into this side for Ethan Ampadu. As I said, he was one of the main starters for Leeds in the midfield last season in the Championship when Ampadu was at centre-back for Leeds for a vast majority of that campaign. The 25-year-old Bulgarian, 6'1", joined for Leeds in August of 2023 on deadline day for £4.1 million from Werder Bremen. And he came off the bench last week against Everton to help Leeds in getting off the mark. Played 13 minutes last week in the Everton game. Scored just 1 goal for the club, and has 3 assists to his name for Leeds. Does Ilya Gruyev, and Martin Odegaard has gone down here for the moment, so maybe it's a little issue that he had from when he was down earlier in the game, if you remember. Seems to be a shoulder issue for the Arsenal captain. The last thing Arsenal want to do is lose their captain. Although I think they might. They're going to make that change. Ethan Nwaneri is going to be coming on here for Arsenal. Yeah, that's... He's back to his feet though, Odegaard. So we'll see this moment again a little earlier. That was the one on Anton Stack, and he kind of dragged his left arm back, and it was that shoulder that Martin Odegaard is complaining about. Maybe the way he landed on it, but he's up on his feet and is okay. But it looked like they were... Ethan Nwaneri was getting stripped there and ready to come on. And he gives the thumbs up to his manager there, Odegaard, to Mikel Arteta. Of course, no player wants to come off the field, but 18-year-old Ethan Nwaneri was the one that was getting ready. But I think Odegaard's going to get through this, or try to get through this, and spur himself on. Well, so far, Arsenal haven't had a shot on target in this game after considering their really good start. They're yet to really test the Leeds goalkeeper. He is a new man of himself, Lucas Perry, 27-year-old Brazilian. One of Leeds' summer signings, joined in July of 25 for an unknown fee from Olympique Lyon, who signed him the January last year for £2.7 million, something probably above what Lyon paid for him. He's already got a Premier League clean sheet under his belt after that victory over Everton last week. Although, to be fair, Everton really didn't ask him any questions either, if you've got to be honest, because they were dreadful on Monday night. We'll see them in action tomorrow in their new stadium. That's a lovely little bit of distribution there from the goalkeeper, David Araya, finding Ricardo Calafiori, who's breaking forward here for the Gunners, and takes it half stride and plays the ball out wide, and overhits it. Only Madueke can't keep it in. Got a bit excited there, Ricardo Calafiori, after his goal last week against Manchester United. Came from a corner. But you gotta say, to be honest with you, when Arsenal did take the lead against Man United, they didn't really try and push for a second at any stage. And they didn't really look like scoring from open play against Man United last week. Now, of course, at home, a very different task, a very different opponent. Here this evening, an opponent they expect to have a much better chance with in terms of adding a couple of goals. But so far, as I said, they've yet to have a shot on target in the first half an hour here at the Emirates. Leeds have had a shot on target with that header from Stroik from the corner. That was saved by David Raya. Could be why they're looking for more quality up front, and that's why they've maybe brought in a Berrieza and Noni Madueke, two players that can really create something from nothing to add to their attacking threats. It was an area last season where we thought that Arsenal could massively improve, was the attacking areas. Scored 69 goals last season. It's less than a goal per point. If we average that out across last season in terms of goals per game, .8 goals per game for Arsenal. So it was a lot of 1-0ers or 1-goal wins, but not much in way of adding 2 or 3 to their lead in a lot of last season, and that's where they kind of fell away with that 14 draws that they had in their 38 games, which is around about a quarter of your matches, or a third of your matches, sorry, ending in a draw, which is certainly not title-winning form. And that's where the games were won and lost. They had 5 more draws than Liverpool. If those draws were turned into wins, they would have finished on the exact same points as Liverpool. Although Liverpool did have 17 more goals on Arsenal last season. Here is Gabriel Zubamendi. Bukayo Saka down the right hand side. Side to Zubamendi now. To Gabriel, down the left it comes to Madueke, rolls it on for Calafiori in the overlap, and the ball came across. It was blocked and put behind by Rodon for a corner. Tried to cut back Calafiori, and as he cut it back, it deflected off the first Leeds player and came onto the head of Rodon, who had to get rid of it quickly. Put it behind for the corner. Well, Arsenal have the record for goals from corners. They scored one last week. 31 since the start of the season before last in August of 23. 11 more than the next best, which was Liverpool with 20. So they're the best team in the league at converting from corners. Here they come again. Rice to deliver, left-footed, or right-footed, left side. Ball in, another goal! There it is! You never know. You always know when it comes to Arsenal. A corner is more often, most likely, going to turn into a goal. We just talked about it. And when you talk about it, you will it into existence. And it's Urian Timber that has got this one. Just like last week, it was a fullback that headed in to give Arsenal the lead. It's a fullback that heads in to give Arsenal the lead this week. Again, it's Rice's delivery. It's such a good delivery. It's got so much lift that you think it's going to pop up in the middle. It drags everybody forward to the front post, and it's left a free man in Urian Timber, who isn't picked up by Leeds, and he's in the right place, right time, and it nestles in the bottom corner. That's a lovely goal, and it's so Arsenal. You could write a book about how Arsenal score goals from corners and how effective they are from those areas. Arsenal 1, Leeds United 0. Set piece again for the Gunners. And a corner to boot. That's 2 from 2. 2 goals in the new season and 2 from corners. It's getting to the point now you think Arsenal are going to score from every corner they take. Here comes Saka. Well, we know Arsenal. We know what Arsenal should be doing. When they go 1-0 up, They need to find that second in quick succession just to give them that extra little bit of breathing room. Because when it stays 1, they seem to get a little bit nervous in the latter stages if it stays at 1. There's 10 minutes to go with this first half, and they lead by a goal to 0. Well, it's not a coincidence that for the 34 minutes prior to them scoring, they hadn't had a shot on target, and their first comes from where they're so prolific, and that's from corners. Their first shot on target of the afternoon. I mean, it's almost predictable at this stage. The delivery makes it so much better. The delivery is what makes it such an incredible whip ball by Rice. And I guarantee you, without a shadow of a doubt, that in Leeds' pre-match talk during the week, corners would have been highlighted. Where to defend, who to defend, and how to defend, and what to do. And that would have been highlighted. Of course it would have. And they will feel really annoyed that they've been done in by another corner. And this time, once again, Arsenal on the right end of it, of course. Gudmundsson down the left side, tracked all the way by Saka, hounded into a tight space and won back by Zubimendi. Can they find a target? Again, no option for Zubimendi. Nice work to find Ødegaard, who laid it off well to Rice, who spins it out wide for Madueke. That's better. Madueke now. He's got options. He's got Calafiori. He's going to tiptoe into the box himself and rolls it back to Calafiori. And now Gabriel. He's going out wide. Madueke goes for the cross. Up and away by Rodon. And the follow-up from Zubimendi. There was some pace behind it, but it was over the bar. And Arsenal are going to make this change then. So we said to you earlier on that Ethan Nwaneri was getting ready to come on, and Martin Ødegaard was okay to continue. Well, he's not going to be, and he's going to be coming off. The Arsenal captain, he's not happy that he is going to be coming off. But he's not particularly going to take any unnecessary risks, is Mikel Arteta. He knows what big games Arsenal have got coming up in the next few weeks. And if they don't 100% need him, there's no need to take the risk. And Ødegaard replaced by Ethan Nwaneri here with 7 minutes of the first half to go. Madueke does well to intercept that ball between Leeds and Tanaka and James. Gabriel back to Saliba and Zubimendi. Here is Nwaneri. Back to Gabriel now. Out wide it goes to Calafiori. Rolls it. Gyökeres, who tried to work it in behind for Madueke, but given away. Now Ao Tanaka holding it up. Bogle breaking down the right side off the sideline here for Leeds United. Jayden Bogle does well to chop back, and then is caught a bit late there by Calafiori. And that's going to be a free kick to Leeds United high up the field. Yeah, it was a little bit of a loose stray leg there from Ricardo Calafiori. And then he stands on the right foot of Jayden Bogle. It's a foul. And a free kick. Five and a half minutes to the first half to go. Gunners lead by a goal to 0. Another goal from a corner. Urian Timber the scorer this time, and it was after Leeds had come the closest when Pascal Stroik's header was palmed over the bar by David Raya from a Leeds corner early in the game. And now they have a free kick here, the visitors. On the far right hand side. Anton Stack and Jayden Bogle. He's taking his time tying his laces there. The Leeds full-back. As the referee sets up the defenders. Let's see. Can Leeds respond here from a set piece? Jayden Bogle over it. Right-footed. It's low. It's away at the near post by Gyökeres. It's really lackluster. A Stack. Oh, he's giving it away. It's going to be a foul. Referee's going to give a foul. He was incredibly lucky there, Anton Stack. The one time he probably should go back to his goalkeeper, and he decides to try and take it on. And Matt Wakey, just too physical, says the referee, pulled him back, and therefore it's a foul. But he's very lucky there, Anton Stack, that the referee felt for him. Yeah, there was nothing in it. I think it's really soft. He's very lucky. Again, Leeds living dangerously. From their own free kick as well, it was. High up the field. Ooh, Ryan, not the best of kicks forward there, but Timber did well to win the header. Now Waneri. There's it down the right channel, but Strike does well to intercept, and Gudmundsson sends it flying. Saliba, heavy touch, he slides in to rescue it. Finds Timber. Tight space. 3 Leeds bodies around him. Nonto nips it away. Tanaka. Referee plays advantage as Nonto was brought down. Tanaka. Many options. So he works it back out to the left-hand side for Gudmundsson now. Ayo Tanaka again. Looking for options ahead of him. Not much movement from Leeds there. Gruev. Strike. Nonto. Stack. One thing Leeds need to know is, despite conceding, they're not out of the game. So far, once again, Viktor Gyökeres has not really got much into this game so far. In these early moments, 12 touches for him. Did have that shot from the loose ball at the back from Leeds, but it was more or less of a real scramble rather than anything of any great note that Arsenal created. Of course, we'll not jump on the bandwagon of let's give him some time. Of course, it's not as simple as you plug and play a striker and it works instantly, you know. Bringing in a striker, it changes the way the midfielders play, it changes the way the attackers make their runs in the wide areas, it changes the way the fullbacks build up, it changes the way the game works and the way the team plays. Having that central striker in there that's going to be the pinpoint, and it's about Arsenal adapting to that while still getting results out of games, and that's why their threat from corners is so important and so crucial to them early in the season, because when they aren't fully ticking over with all of their attackers, they're still getting some players in. It's about having that threat that you can score goals from, that you can find the net from, that can make the difference. And so far, 2 goals and both from corners shows that they have found that difference, and that threat from set pieces is still a very big positive about this Arsenal team. Piru. Tanaka. Back it goes again for Leeds to Strike. Plays it into Tanaka under pressure. Back to Strike again. Who will play it back to Lucas Perry in the goal. He'll send it long again, and see, Arsenal will just see it back to their keeper. So they should. Oh, Calafiori did well there. And Raya takes it down to his feet. Andy says, on the plus side, Gyökeres has touched the ball this week. Well, yeah, he's got 12 touches. And he has a shot. He has registered a shot officially, which he didn't do last week. So there is an extra positivity, as you say, to what we've seen from Gyökeres so far. That's not always what they say in stories and In history, it's not always about the striker getting a goal on his debut. It's about showing up when they're needed the most in the big games. And if these two are just warm-ups to what's to come next week, then I'm sure Arsenal will take that. 3 additional minutes to come at the end of the first half here at the Emirates. Arsenal 1, Leeds 0. Timber's goal from a corner. Here is Urian Timber. Inside to Zubamendi. Real English says same here. Aït-Nouri and Ballard injured early on, and Cherki just 1 point. Yeah, Cherki didn't really help me this week. Not at all. That's a nice win back by Gruyev, but he's a bit slow to lay off the ball. And now Timber in behind. Here's Bukayo Saka! Lovely goal by Bukayo Saka. Fired it well past the keeper before he even knew the shot was taken. It was in the back of the Leeds United net. That was a fierce effort by Bukayo Saka, and Arsenal double their lead. Again, it all comes from Leeds trying to move it forward from the midfield. It's broken apart. It's moved nicely. And what we said about Arsenal, they weren't doing well enough in previous seasons, was when they won the ball back. What they used to do was be direct, get forward quickly. And this is where they do it. They give it away. Leeds win it back to Gruyev, but Arsenal win it back quickly, play the ball out wide, play the ball through the in behind, make the runner get it right in on goal, and Bukayo Saka fed in by Timber, and he's absolutely thrashed it in with the right foot across goal. Keeper too late, and he's got a second for Arsenal, and his first of the season, and their first open play goal of the season. Arsenal 2, Leeds United 1. Or Leeds United 0. Jesus. 2-0. I was just thinking about Bukayo Saka and how he hasn't been producing as much for Arsenal with a lack of open play goals at the end of last season and the start of this season, but he's got the first one of the new season for open play for Arsenal. And they're second here this afternoon in this first half. It will be so crucial. It's the settling them into the game and giving Leeds a much harder job to do. And what a play from Urian Timber. Straight into the side after Ben White got injured last week, and he's got a goal and an assist. That's a way to return the favour to your manager and say, I think you want me at right back, Gaffer. And Urian Timber certainly delivering that message to his manager. Rice with a switch ball. Stopped by Jayden Bogle to put it out for the throw. And surely a couple of seconds, if not much more left. Saliba to Declan Rice. Shouldn't be much longer left of this first half. Zubamendi breaking away from the challenge again of Peru, and there's the half-time whistle from the referee. A first half that started so well for Arsenal. They came flying out of the traps. They got some good opportunities, but it was, as you could always predict, a goal from a corner that broke the deadlock. Their first 2 goals in the new season came from corners for Arsenal. One at Old Trafford and one to open the scoring here. And then Bukayo Saka thrashing past Perry to give Arsenal a 2-goal lead at the break. Half-time, Arsenal 2, Leeds United 0. Your one last kick. This is going to be it. This is the moment. Bukayo kicks this. And Liverpool are there! Liverpool are Premier League champions! And there it comes! Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners! Oh, he's found the net! Oh, what a goal! Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a 4th, and does so! Ahmad, oh my goodness me! That is absolutely unbelievable. Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and battered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible. Welcome back to Premier League Live. Half-time at the Emirates Stadium. It's Arsenal 2, Leeds United 0. At the break, Urian Timber and Bukayo Saka, the two scorers for Mikel Arteta's side, who are looking to make it 2 wins out of 2 to start the season. And if they can break the duck of 3 successive second-place finishes over the last few seasons, well, at half-time, they're only going to be above them in the table is going to be Spurs, which is quite ironic if it stays as it is there, and Arsenal would ironically be in second place. So half-time it is 2-0 to the Gunners. Already this weekend, it's been a busy weekend. Already half of our fixtures already down and dusted. On last night, we saw a 6-goal thriller at the London Stadium, but it was an opener from Lucas Paquetá, but that was the only goal for West Ham on the night. They were thrashed 5-1 by Chelsea, although the defending left a lot to be desired for Graham Potter's team, who are under a lot of pressure. 8 goals conceded in their first 2 Premier League games, with just 1 goal scored. It is not looking good for Graham Potter's West Ham United. 5-1 winners at Chelsea, who made up for actually drawing a blank against Crystal Palace just 5 days earlier, making it 5 goals to make up for that, and making it 4 points out of a possible 6 to start the season for Enzo Maresca's Blues. Earlier this afternoon at lunchtime, Tottenham went to Man City, and Tottenham seemed to be a real bogey team for Manchester City recently. Certainly that's now 3 wins out of the last 4 meetings for Tottenham, including back-to-back victories at the Etihad Stadium for the first time in 15 years since May 2010, and they kept a clean sheet as well in both. The only home side not to have scored so far this weekend, Manchester City. You wouldn't have bet on that coming into the weekend. Spurs 2-0 winners in that one. Overall, of course, Brennan Johnson getting the opener, and then, of course, João Palhinha scoring his first Spurs goal after he's on loan from Bayern Munich. He scored his first Spurs goal to make it 2. At 3 o'clock, it was 3 home wins and 3 clean sheets for home teams. In those ones at the Vitality, Bournemouth got off the mark after the defeat at Anfield on the opening night of the new season last Friday night. They got off to a win, their first win of the season against Wolves. 1-0 winners there were Andoni Iraola's team. After Wolves went down to 10 in that one. It was after Bournemouth had taken the lead. Marcus Tavernier in the 4th minute opened the scoring. It was to be the only goal, and a red card for Totti Gomez for a professional last man foul. So I'm shown a straight red card, means he will miss their next game. And it's not a good start to the season for Wolves. 2 defeats out of 2 without scoring in either game, and Bournemouth with their first win of the season. Brentford add their name to the winning column. Their 1-0 victory over Aston Villa. Dango Ouattara with the only goal. He scored early in that one, 12th minute, to give Brentford the lead, and Keith Andrews his first win as a Premier League manager after taking over from Thomas Frank at the start of the season. And Brentford bouncing back from that 3-1 defeat at Forest last week to claim their first points of the season. A 1-0 win over Aston Villa, who are yet to score this season. 2 games, 2 blanks for Unai Emery's team. That is not a good sign to start their campaign, but they do have a point after they drew 0-0 with Newcastle last week. And the other game saw Burnley, newly promoted Burnley, add their name and get their first win of the season. 2 second-half goals, Josh Cullen and Jadon Anthony, set up by Josh Cullen, and Jadon Anthony set up Josh Cullen earlier in the game. So a goal and assist for both players in that one for Burnley as they beat Sunderland and knocked them back down to earth after their incredible victory over West Ham last week. So that means that both of those two teams a win and a loss to start their seasons. And Burnley 2-0 winners. Half time at the Emirates as well. It's 2-0 to the Gunners. Right, we're going to talk about the Gunners as well at half time, because a big news story that broke just before kickoff this evening, and that is Sky Sports will pay a guaranteed fee of £60 million plus £7.5 million in add-ons for the forward. That takes Arsenal's summer spending to £267 million. Berries has signed a 4-year deal with Arsenal with the option of a further year, and will wear the number 10 shirt, of course, previously worn by the likes of Dennis Bergkamp, Mesut Ozil and Robin van Persie, as well as, of course, academy players Jack Wilshere and Emile Smith-Rowe. So, massive positive for Arsenal. They're leading 2-0, and they've got a new man in the door in Eberechi Eze, who thought he'd scored last week away at Chelsea. But as we remember, that goal was disallowed, and that was to be his last performance for Crystal Palace after he missed the European game on Thursday night. Apparently he was ill. That's what the talking was, but clearly he wasn't. He looks pretty well to me, and pretty healthy to me in that photo, and I don't know if that was taken today. It might have been. It didn't seem like it was, but he looks pretty healthy to me in that one. So that's a big breaking news story for Arsenal. Right, let's look at my predictions from this weekend, because I've certainly not had a good run of it this weekend. I predicted Chelsea to win. The scoreline was well off. I predicted Man City to win, but that didn't happen. I predicted Bournemouth to win and keep a clean sheet, so I'll take that one. 2-0 winners against Wolves. They won 1-0. At Villa to beat Brentford, which I didn't think was an outlandish claim, but it ended up not happening, and Brentford winning that one. And Burnley beating Sunderland. I think that was a little naive for me to expect Sunderland to go to Burnley and win, but they didn't, and Burnley won 2-0. I did, however, predict Arsenal to win 3-0 here. They're 2-0 up at the break, so it's still very much on. And the rest of my predictions there will go through the rest of the weekends. Let's see what's coming up on the rest of the weekend here in LFS. As we saw already, Chelsea's 5-1 win away at West Ham last night. Tottenham's 2-0 win away at City earlier this lunchtime. They're the only two away wins of the weekend. And at half-time, Arsenal 2 to the good against Leeds. So we're going to see a home win. Probably. We'll see. Then tomorrow, a double-header for you. Everton host Brighton in the new stadium for the Toffees. The Hill Dickinson Stadium officially has the ribbons cut, and they open their doors to thousands there for Everton in their first Premier League game at the Hill Dickinson. That's tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Alongside that, Crystal Palace host Nottingham Forest at Sellers Park. We'll have updates from that game as well at the same time. And then our later game tomorrow afternoon, our second of our doubleheader, sees Fulham host Manchester United at Craven Cottage. That's 4:30. As Fulham and Man United look to get their first wins of the season after Fulham had a late draw against Brighton last week and Man United lost at home to Arsenal. And then the Monday Night Football is our game of the week, Monday 8 o'clock, as Newcastle United take on Liverpool as that Alexander Isak saga continues to rumble on. Will this be a real feisty affair? Something's telling me it will be at St James's Park on Monday nights. Right, so Arsenal 2-0 up at the break here at the Emirates. Let's get some, show you some chats. Let's get involved with the chat. Real English says luck might be changing then. Got Saka as captain. Good luck for you for that one. Andy says I had Palmer as captain and Watkins as vice captain. Waste of a week. FPL is breaking football. I am an Arsenal fan and sitting here 2-0 up, but disappointed neither Gabriel or Gyökeres are currently scoring me points. Yeah, I have Saliba, Raya and Gyökeres in my team. Saliba's made a good save, and at the moment he will be keeping a clean sheet. So I'm pretty happy with him. But he's only getting me 1 point at the minute because they haven't put in the clean sheet yet. Obviously because they haven't got it yet. Saliba would also get a clean sheet bonus if he gets that. And Gyökeres, I would need him to at least have something. Maybe an assist would be nice, but a goal would be lovely. We'll see. At the moment, but my fantasy team has not done well so far this weekend. It's been a real stinker, let's just say that. Right, 2-0 to the Gunners at the break. And you got to say, as always, and as it seems to be so much the case in recent weeks, and certainly at the end of last season and all of last season, it's corners that makes the difference. It's a goal from a corner that makes the difference. And you can say whatever you want about it being very one-dimensional from Arsenal, only scoring from corners. But that's how you win. That's how you win big games. That's how you win games that are close. By having those fine margins. Set pieces are so important. They won last week solely off a set piece. And they started this game. They didn't have a shot on target until they scored from the corner. So really, it gets Arsenal up in the game. It gets them going. It gives them that belief. It gives them that advantage, obviously, in the game, and gets them ticking into gear. But the second goal, again, really good play. They win it back high up, Arsenal. They play it through quickly. Timber rolls it through in behind for Saka making the run. And it's a fabulous finish by Saka. Absolutely rockets it. Bullets it past the Leeds keeper, who, as I said, it was already in the net before he even threw a hand at it. It was too late for him. It was that much of a great strike. But yeah, a very good first half overall for Arsenal. But you got to say, Leeds had a few half chances of their own in that first half, with that stroke header that was saved by David Raya, and then a couple of opportunities, half chances for Dan James down the right hand side. But other than that, really nothing for Leeds to show from that first half. They knew it was going to be tough coming to the Emirates and getting something, and at half-time it is looking just like that. Half-time it is 2-0, and we'll be back for the second half in about less than 2 minutes' time. Do stay with us. Welcome back. Second half on the way in just a moment between Arsenal and Leeds. A reminder for you that tomorrow we have a big game, as I said, on Merseyside as Everton open their new stadium, the Hill Dickinson Stadium, on the Bramley-Moore Dock. That is tomorrow, 2 o'clock, as they host Brighton and Hove Albion in a game that will be in the history books as the first in Everton's new stadium. We'll see how they get on after that 1-0 defeat to Leeds on Monday night. They need to get their first goal and their first points of the new season, and we'll see how they do against Fabian Hürzeler's Brighton. Right, second half is on the way in a second. The players just coming out of the tunnel at the Emirates. A reminder for you, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications. We have just hit 29,000 subscribers, so thank you so much for that. That's so greatly appreciated. We're on the final stretch to 30,000 now, and you can see in the top right corner there is the tally. So if you can help us try and get closer to 30,000, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you all so much for your support. It is always greatly appreciated. As Leeds are coming back out for the second half now. Work for them to do, a lot of it to do. You would say, is it gone past Leeds United? You could make that argument that the game is gone from them, but they'll never give up. We'll see how they do. We'll see how Victor Gyökeres does. And he says Arsenal should have bought a basketball player instead of Gyökeres. Well, we'll see how he performs. We'll let him settle in. Not be too critical too early on him. So all on the fields. And Jared Gillett, our referee, will blow that whistle and get us back underway as Arsenal kicking from right to left. Leeds from left to right in the second half. Big second half on the cards then. Just like it was earlier this lunchtime, a 2-goal lead for a North London side in our game. And the team that they're playing need to score the next goal. Otherwise, it's game, set, and match. And you could probably argue it's maybe halfway to being game, set, and match. They'll get a third, and it's surely you can wrap up the 3 points. But even at 2-0, you'd probably argue they could wrap up the 3 points in a sense. Nothing's done and dusted until the final whistle goes. That's the saying. Nothing's over till the final whistle goes, and we'll see how Leeds do respond in the second half to that 2-goal deficit. And he's got it into space here. Calafiori with a low one across. Up and away by Leeds once again in their own box. And that was Gruyev, I believe, that got that clearance. Zubimendi. Well, Mikel Arteta's side have faced Leeds more often without losing than any other side as Arsenal boss in all competitions. They've won 7 and drawn 1 against Leeds, but won all 5 games where they've played them at the Emirates under Mikel Arteta's tenureship. So he loves a home win against Leeds United, and they're halfway to doing so here this afternoon, making it 6 out of 6. Calafiori stepped inside now. Madueke. Calafiori again, lifting it over the top. Gyökeres to make the run at the ball. Stayed onside, flag stayed down. Here's Victor Gyökeres on the inside of the box. He's breaking through. Nice finish! That's a fabulous goal by Victor Gyökeres. We said we'll give him a chance. It's a home debut goal for the new man. That's one way to announce yourself as an Arsenal player. A beautiful solo goal. We don't want to say the name that usually comes to mind with Arsenal strikers, but he's got an initials of TH, and it's got a remnants of that from Victor Gyökeres, gliding through the Leeds defence like they weren't there. Again, it's really good play. I said about Calafiori dropping inside. It's Calafiori that plays this ball over the top. Gyökeres holds his run. He's played out to the left-hand side. He just takes his time. He's patient. He steps onto his right foot. He breaks inside the Leeds box. He drags Pascal Struijk with him. And he's got no chance at stopping him. He knew where he was going to put it. He knew where he wanted to be. And he found the bottom corner. Past Lucas Perry. No chance for Leeds. 3-0 to Arsenal. And Victor Gyökeres off the mark in the Premier League as an Arsenal player. He really hadn't done much, but with his first shot on target as an Arsenal player, he fires into the back of the net. That's what you call clinical. 3-0. That was a wonderful solo goal. Great play by Calafiori to drop inside, to play that inverted role. I spotted it right away. I saw it down that left side. I was like, Arsenal are doing something different here. And I saw Calafiori drive inside, play that inside role within the kind of inverted fullback role. As a kind of a deep midfielder in a sense. And he dropped in, he flicked it over the top. And Gyökeres made the running behind and done the rest. Just wonderful. Now here come Arsenal again. It's Saka. Calafiori. He wants to get another one himself. Shot blocked on the edge of the box. There's Dan James trying to come away with it there for Leeds United. Oh, Bukayo Saka's gone down. Leeds are going to put it out of play. This is not going to be a good sign. They've already lost Martin Odegaard. And that doesn't look good at all for Bukayo Saka. They were worried about attacking injuries. They've already lost Kai Havertz to a long-term injury, it seems. Martin Odegaard had to go off in the first half, and now Bukayo Saka's down. And he doesn't look happy. He's shaking his head with the physio giving him treatment. Well, they might be 3-0 up here, Arsenal, but we've got other concerns at the minute. And he's just gone down off the ball. It's really innocuous. There's something wrong. There's something really wrong. Sake's going to be helped to his feet. But there's something that he is not happy with. And that's why he's gone down. He's on his feet. And seems to be... he seems to be okay walking. He's coming off here. Because he's just handed off the captain's armband that he took off Martin Odegaard in the first half. And now Leandro Trossard is going to be coming on. So this is going to be some really not great news for Arsenal. Martin Odegaard off and Bukayo Saka off in the same game. Now, we don't want to read too much into it. Could just be precautionary on both terms, but Saka went down off the ball quite innocuously, and he's in conversation with his teammates and Rice and Madueke there as he leaves the field. We don't want to wish injury upon any player or any team. But he's not looking good there, Bukayo Saka. He's kind of taking his time. Very slow walking off the field there. And coming on Leandro Trossard, and he has a little word with his manager, Mikel Arteta. Bukayo Saka, as he walks off, and will go and take a seat on the bench. See this again. So this is just before he goes down. Oh, he kind of pulls up. As he runs through, Calafiori's gets the ball, and as he lays the ball off Saka, he pulls up. His left leg pulls up. So whether it's a muscle issue, it could be a hamstring issue, but we'll see. It's not ideal for Arsenal to lose two of your key players in the first home game of the season. Now, of course, we're not reading too much into it. It could just be precautionary in both terms, but it's certainly not what you want to do. If you're going to have it happen, it'd be nice to be 3-0 up in a game. Luke says, my Northampton Town team 2-0 against Exeter City. Very happy today, very happy. Nice to hear about that, Luke. Great that your team won. Great to hear. There's a ball down the left-hand side here for Arsenal. Trossard, his first involvement. He was caught a little bit there by Bogle, but it goes out for a throw into Arsenal on the left-hand side. Well, Victor Gyökeres, he must love promoted sides, because this is a stat I picked up across doing my research for this game this evening. Victor Gyökeres was directly involved in 14 goals and 12 appearances against promoted sides in the Portuguese Primeira Liga, scoring 9 and assisting 5 for Sporting against newly promoted teams in Portugal. And his first goal for Arsenal comes against a newly promoted team in England. Here is Madueke. He's moved to the right-hand side here, with Saka going off. And Madueke's dribbling through. Couldn't quite get the ball off. And it's cleared away by Leeds. It's a bit last-ditch for Leeds at the minute. They're really hanging on here. And they're trying to play out again. Nonto toying about in his own byline as there's a shot. It's gone well wide. It took a deflection from Ethan Nwaneri's effort. Corner to Arsenal. Yeah, Wilfred Nonto, I mean, what? I wouldn't advise you to do that on the edge of your own area, your own byline. I mean, it's just very silly trying to dribble about with the ball. When you're under pressure, you're 3-0 down. And this team you're playing are in fine form. Yeah. I thought it was a hamstring, and that's where Bukayo Saka indicates a bit earlier on. So it could be a number of weeks. It's not what they want to hear. Declan Rice to take this corner. One corner taken previously, 1 goal scored. Can they make it 2 from 2? Rice to deliver. Right-footed. Header! Bouncing around, it's still not away! And it's gone in again! It's another one! And it's Jurrien Timber again! He got ahead to one in the first half and he scored with his foot in the second. He is having a game, Jurrien Timber. 2 goals and an assist. What a day for him. 4-0. I mean, my goodness. I said it quite tongue-in-cheek when I said, could they make it 2 goals from 2 corners in this game? I just said it tongue-in-cheek, and it's just happened. Declan Rice again with this delivery. It causes all sorts of trouble. Leeds can't get it away. What are they doing? The first contact won by Arsenal. It's kept alive. It's Timber that actually wins the first header. He brings it down. It's kept alive by Saliba. Strike tries to chest it away. It's bounced around, and as Strike tries to clear it, he pokes it up in the air, Timber, and he lofts it past the goalkeeper into the Leeds net. I mean, it's terrible defending, but you gotta say, Arsenal from these corners, it is something I've never seen before. It's a team so prolific from a set piece in those areas. And Arsenal do it time and time again. Arsenal 4, Leeds United 0. Although, there might be a handball here that they're checking VAR. Against Saliba, is it? Yeah, there's nothing in that. Goal given. And the goal will stand. What a day Urian Timber's having, as I said. 2 goals for him and an assist. I mean, he's having a massive day of it. As Leeds are going to make changes. Joel Piru and Ayo Tanaka coming off. And Lucas Mecha and Sean Longstaff are coming on. Lucas Mecha, who of course scored the penalty that leads the game at Elland Road on Monday nights. 5 days later, he comes onto the pitch with his team 4-0 down. And still 33 minutes of the game to play. Well, it's now about Leeds just being more defensively solid. It's easier said than done, of course, because at 4-0 Arsenal, with their tails up, they're loving it. The crowd's going. First home game of the season. Everything's against Leeds. They've got, really, at times they can just be passengers, and really of no fault of their own. They really just can't keep up with the tempo. And the team's 4-0 up. It makes it even harder to try and stop it from getting worse. It's almost like it's harder to stop it from being 5, 6 and 7. And they have to work harder to stop it from being that. And work harder than they were working when they conceded 4. Wanere. Back to Gabriel. Should have bloody put Urian Timber in my fantasy team. Whoever put Urian Timber in their fantasy team this week is having a fantastic night of it. 2 goals and an assist, and might have a clean sheet as well. I mean, what a day it would be for him. At least Gyökeres is getting me some points at the minute. Well, Lucas Mecha's on the field. He became just the 2nd player to score a penalty on his debut for Leeds in the club's history, along with Percy Whipp. What a name that is. Percy Whipp, back in 1922, 103 years ago. He is hoping to join Alan Smith, 1998, Patrick Bamford and Mateusz Klich, both in 2020, as the only players to score in their first 2 Premier League appearances for Leeds United. He's on, and he's 30 minutes to add his name to that list, does Lucas Mecha. Although something's telling me that's not likely to happen. The way Arsenal have played today and the way Leeds have struggled to really play today. You thought if Arsenal were on it today, it would be all but impossible for Leeds to come away with a result. And it seems like that's going to be the case here this afternoon. But credit to Arsenal and the way they've gone about this. At 1-0, you thought, are they going to do what they've done before and just sit and consolidate? But no. They got that 2nd goal before half-time. They come out, find the 3rd quickly, and then added a 4th. That's what we've been talking about when it comes to Arsenal in previous years in title races. And albeit their season will not be won or lost against Leeds at home, but that's what they need to get into the rhythm of doing. Finding one and then going on to kick on to add another. That's a nice delivery by Madueke. Overhead kick chance. Gyökeres trying to keep it alive. Calafiori has hit it wide. He got a glimpse at it. He thought after he'd done opened the scoring last week, he thought he could add himself to the list of scoring this week. He's actually got 2 assists today, Riccardo Calafiori. So certainly involved. He's got the assist for both goals. Well, Arsenal are going to make changes. Going to see Miles Lewis-Skelly coming on. I think Christian Mosquera as well is coming on. And that young man, Max Dauman, I don't even know if his age is on this. I don't know. He's 6 foot anyway. They know that. He's in the under-18s. Unbelievable player, according to what we've heard over the summer and what he's able to achieve. Max Dauman is going to be coming on here for Arsenal to make his senior debut in the Premier League for the club. He wouldn't be the youngest ever. A man who's already on the field. Ethan Nwaneri still has that record and will have that record for a while yet. Calafiori into the box again. Went down, wanting the penalty. He's not going to get it as Leeds do scramble it away from danger. Here is Dan James now. Arsenal are going to make 3 changes in a row, as I said. Down the right, Dan James still going. He's got Bogle on the overlap. He plays it through for Jayden Bogle. Bogle into the box, trying to cross it. Well charged out by Gabriel, who was in the way there. Max Dauman, by the way, if I can get his age, he was born on the 31st of December 2009. He is 15 years old. His 16th birthday is until New Year's Eve this year. Absolutely remarkable. Wow. Wow. And that loudest roar from inside the Emirates. Wow. "15 years old and 234 days. Wow. Max Dauman is on. More changes incoming there. Miles Lewis-Skelly's come on for Riccardo Calafiori. And Urian Timber, who has had a wonderful day, he's coming off. And Christian Mosquera is coming on for his Arsenal debut in the Premier League here at the Emirates. So a triple change there for Arsenal. Madueke, by the way, went off for Max Dauman. I mean, it's crazy that he starts school in a week's time. He's still in school. He is the 2nd youngest ever in Premier League history to make a debut. Only second to Ethan Nwaneri, who made his debut in September 3 years ago. Wow. They certainly produced them young, do Arsenal. They produced them well at a young age. What number is he? I don't even know that. Number 56. Well, here is Gabriel trying to play it through. Cleared away from Gyökeres' path, and it's going to be a free kick here to Leeds. Zubimendi putting in a late challenge. 25 minutes to go then at the Emirates. Arsenal 4, Leeds United 0. 2 goals from Urian Timber and a goal apiece from Bukayo Saka and Victor Gyökeres. Has countered up that tally. Leeds are going to make a double change here. Brendan Aronson is coming on for Dan James, and Willie Gnonto is going to be replaced by new man Noah Okafor, who was signed during the week for Leeds, the Swiss. And he's coming on for his Leeds debut here this afternoon. He played for AC Milan just mere days ago, on the 17th of August in the Coppa Italia, in a 2-0 win over Bari, and played in all 5 of Milan's pre-season games, scoring 4 times and assisting once in wins over Liverpool and Perth Glory. So Noah Okafor, a welcome addition to the Leeds team. £16.4 million he was signed, and he's on the field here along with Brendan Aronson for Leeds. Nicolet's had it in conversation with his striker there as the game was stopped. One kick forward here. Arsenal win it high up with Rice and Diamond on the ball. Max Diamond, well seen out there by the Leeds players. It's gone out here for a throw-in to Arsenal. Well, I don't want to put pressure on the young man, but on a debut it would be if he could do what they've done 4 times already, Arsenal. I don't want to jinx it, but you know what I mean when I talk about they've done it 4 times today. It's been a real dominant display from Arsenal. Barring that little 5-minute spell in the first half where Leeds had 1 or 2 good chances, but other than that, it's been all Arsenal, as you would expect here at the Emirates. A display of pure quality. That's why they're well in the fight for the title this season. No question about that. They can win games different ways. Last week they ground out a result at Old Trafford 1-0. Goal from a corner. And today they're putting on the show boots and are showing off their class and quality in the final third by striding a couple past Leeds. Albeit 2 of those goals actually came from corners. That's a lovely reverse ball here. Diamond on the chase, up against Gudmundsson. Gudmundsson clears his lines. Finds Noah Okafor. He's it off to Brendan Aronson. Nicely intercepted by Lewis Skelly. But it's going to be a foul here to Leeds. Brendan Aronson brought down by Lewis Skelly. Free kick to Leeds. Well, sometimes Miles Lewis Skelly goes under the radar as a young player here at Arsenal as well. You know, they've produced so many academy players. He's just 18, Miles Lewis Skelly. Some may forget he doesn't turn 19 till the end of next month. Along with Ethan Nwaneri, who is 18 himself. He turned just 18 in March. And as well as Max Diamond. Here come Leeds down the left. Okafor on the move. He lost the ball, and Mosquera and Diamond involved there to try and win it back. It goes out for a Leeds throw down that left-hand side. Well, there's what you call clinical. 15 shots, 4 of which on target. All 4 shots on target have found the Leeds net for Arsenal. Leeds have had just the 1 shot on target, which was Pascal Struijk's header in the first half from their 3 shots. So they've struggled to really do anything today, Leeds, other than that set-piece chance. But they knew it was going to be tough. Daniel Farke knew it was going to be tough. Leeds have lost 23 of the last 30 away league matches in London. 1-4 drawn 3. Lost their last 7 Premier League games in London as well, since a 2-1 win over Brentford on the final day of the 21-22 season, which meant they avoided relegation. So they haven't won in London in quite a while in the Premier League. It's well over 3 years, clearly. Nwaneri. Nice play to find Declan Rice. Zubamendi. Passing it around here at the minute, Arsenal. 20 minutes to go. No mad rush. Well, they're unbeaten in the last 14 meetings between the two, Arsenal. In all competitions, 1-12 drawn 2. And they've won each of the last 6 in a row, have the Gunners. Here comes Ethan Nwaneri. They want to make it 7 in a row. They're going to make it 7 in a row. Nwaneri striding forward, but he ran out of options as he got into the final third. And intercepted by Leeds, as here's Jayden Bogle. On the right side. Challenged by Lewis Skelly. Goes out for a Leeds throw. And Leeds have also lost their last 10 of the last 12, Premier League away games against Arsenal, winning just 2. They haven't kept a clean sheet in any of their last 15 such meetings now. And their last trip to the Gunners came in a 4-1 defeat back in April of 2023. Gabriel Jesus scored a brace, Ben White and Granit Xhaka were on the score sheet that day. Jesus and White who are injured, and Granit Xhaka who's no longer at the football club. But someone has got a brace for Arsenal today. Noah Skelly to Declan Rice. Zubamendi. Right wide to Max Diamond, who takes a nice touch. Works it back inside, a little bit heavy, but helped out there by his teammate Martin Zubamendi. Who I've got to say, from a long range distance, I know it's the camera maybe playing tricks on us, Martin Zubamendi looks really small. He's 5'11", but he looks tiny on the field. Saliba. Switching it out to Diamond. Nice little chest down. Takes the touch. Breaking it. Gudmundsson. Diamond into the box. Good challenge by Gudmundsson to break it away. Timed it perfectly. A burst of pace there from the 15-year-old. And Mitchell there fouled. He held up the ball away from the Arsenal defenders. Well, Arsenal have a trip to Anfield next week, next Sunday, so 8 days to prepare for that. Heading to Anfield to face Liverpool, who pipped them to the title last season by 10 points. And not an easy first 2 away games of the season, the trip to Old Trafford and then to Anfield. That will bring them into the international break. Before they host Nottingham Forest, host Manchester City, and then head to Newcastle before the next international break. So not an easy start to the season for Arsenal, but if they come off with a couple of good wins, it could catapult them to a very good start to the season. For Leeds, after that win against Everton last week, they're here at Arsenal today. They've got a League Cup game, a Carabao Cup fixture in midweek on the 26th. That's on Tuesday, is that? Yeah, Tuesday night they head to Sheffield Wednesday in the second round of the Carabao Cup before they host Newcastle next Saturday evening at Elland Road. And then after the international break, a trip to Fulham and Wolves, and then a home game against Bournemouth before the second international break of the season. Here's Max Diamond down the right-hand side for Arsenal. The crowd up for it when they hear his name, and he gets onto the ball. Diamond's going to have a go! And he fires it over the bar. Bukayo Saka-esque though. Fabulous switch ball. Again, creating so much space. He's hugging the touchline down the right side. He's got acres of space. They don't feel worried about him, Leeds, it seems. He's getting on the ball quite a lot. He takes it down. Beautiful first touch. Drops inside. So Bukayo Saka-like. And he takes the shot. He just can't keep it down. But at 15 years old, to even get on the ball and have a shot in a Premier League game is just remarkable. Well, one thing about Max Diamond is that he's in the right position to break a record, because the youngest ever player to score a Premier League goal was James Vaughan at 16 years and 270 days. He scored against Everton scored for Everton against Crystal Palace in April of 2005. Max Diamond has almost exactly a year to try and break that record. Between now and the start of next season, if he can score, he will break that record. a number of players actually at 16, but no one ever at 15. Certainly in the Premier League era. He would be by far the youngest Englishman to ever score as well in the Premier League. Wayne Rooney still has that record, 17 years old, so still that one that he can beat as well. But let's not put too much pressure on him. Still very, very young. And as I said, even to be in a game in the Premier League at the top level with Arsenal at 15 years old is a remarkable achievement in and of itself. Long kick forward. Header won by Struijk. The bouncing ball goes all the way through and is cleaned up by David Raya. Rice. Lewis Skelly. Saliba to Mosquera. Back to Saliba again. One thing you can say about Mikel Arteta, it's always been the youth that's underpinned what he's built at Arsenal. You know, Saka, Martinelli, Smith Rowe all coming in when he first became the Arsenal manager all those years ago. Here's Trossard. And now he's trying to bring in through the next crop of the Lewis Skellys, the Nwaneris, and now Max Diamonds as well. Let's not forget as well, Martinelli and Saka are still at the football club, and Emile Smith Rowe is at another top Premier League club in Fulham as well, so they're all successful. Here's Diamond up against Gudmundsson. He's doing well to battle against him, and he's trying to break past him, and he's almost got past him as Gudmundsson had to bring him down, and that's going to be a free kick. That was fabulous, fabulous from Max Diamond. Absolutely wonderful. He didn't have to do too much, but whatever he did, it was perfect. And Gudmundsson had no chance. And he gets himself a yellow card as well, Gabriel Gudmundsson. It's fabulous. Even when he's battling for possession, the Leeds defender has no chance. I mean, it's just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. He's won his team a free kick high up the field here, Diamond. It's just over 10 minutes to go. And Gabriel Gudmundsson gets himself a yellow card. His first in his Premier League career, and that's both Leeds fullbacks now on yellows. Declan Rice and Ethan Nwaneri over it. I think Nwaneri is the one that's going to take it. Let's see. He's locked on where he wants to put it, Nwaneri. He's got options at the edge of the box if he wants to cut it back. His body's in that 6-yard box, flooding it at the minute. Nwaneri delivers left-footed. Cleared away. Diamond has a strike! Oh! It was going, and then it went wide. My goodness, what a strike with the left foot there. Didn't get it on target, but for a split second I thought we were going to start screaming. Oh, goodness me. He reacts really quickly. He gets onto the end of it, has a go with his left foot, and it just spins away from goal. But what an effort. What an effort from Max Diamond. You can't help but smile. I mean, that's just everybody's childhood dream. Everybody that watches football as a young child, it's your dream to be in that position. And for a 15-year-old to be living out his dream, you can't help but smile at it. Just wonderful. I'm desperate for him to score. Although we've still got other players on the team that might help me for my fantasy team, but just for the joy of football, as Trossard's ball forward, he felt it come off the arm of Jayden Bogle, but there was nothing in that. Well, they win it back fairly with Gabriel, though, Arsenal. Here's Zubimendi. There's Skelly, back it goes to Saliba. Well, as it stands, Arsenal will be top of the Premier League. And they'll be joint top because they will have scored the same amount and not conceded any with Tottenham, who would also have scored 5 goals and not conceded from their first 2 games of the season. That would be the case. If Arsenal get another goal, though, they would take the top spot on goal difference. They're joint top, those two. Almost like the North London clubs are inseparable. The first North London derby of the season isn't till mid to end of November, and it is at the Emirates. Here's Brendan Aronson, picks up a loose ball for Leeds. Metcho with a throw himself at it there, but didn't get any real contact on it. Goal kick. Yeah, it was a nice idea. Again, it was Arsenal being a bit too direct, forcing it too far forward. It's intercepted by Leeds. Brendan Aronson does well. Good delivery into the box, and Lucas Mecha was not too far away from being on the end of that one. Lewis Skelly. Well, despite being 4-0 down, the Leeds fans are still singing their most famous anthem. They're marching on together. Well, it seems like they'll be marching back up to Yorkshire with nothing but a dismal defeat. And by the way, Bruno, thank you so much for your opinion, but you can go somewhere else now, please. Thank you very much. Switch ball out there to Diamond, but he was well covered this time by Gudmundsson. Throw in taken on the right hand side. Way back to Lewis Skelly. Gabriel. A reminder for you, in the next across the weekend, tomorrow we're back with a double header of Premier League action tomorrow for you. Everton against Brighton is our early game at 2 o'clock. We'll also keep you up to date with a game at Crystal Palace as they take on Nottingham Forest. Two sides that have had very tetchy interactions over the summer. And will Nuno Espirito Santo be at the touchline, as there's been hintings that he could be sacked by Evangelos Marinakis, the Nottingham Forest head coach? We'll talk all about that tomorrow from 2. And then at 4:30, Fulham take on Manchester United as our double header of Sunday action concludes. Raya picks out Declan Rice. Lewis Skelly has to go back again. Raya under a little bit more pressure, but he doesn't seem fazed by it whatsoever. Here's William Saliba into the midfield now for Zubimendi. Under pressure, he gets the ball off and away to Lewis Skelly, who jinks his way through nicely. Lewis Skelly under pressure. Plays it out wide to Trossard, who let the ball roll under his foot, but he's just kept it in play there, Leandro Trossard. And the last touch came off a Leeds player. That'll be an Arsenal throw. Gabriel. That's a nice breakaway here from Zubamendi, who was kind of elbowed in the back. Trossard with a delivery. It's back across. It's cut back. Oh, not really caught there by Diamond as he tried to get to the byline quickly for that delivery. And it goes behind for a goal kick. He's been very much involved, the youngster, since coming on, Max Diamond. And now here come Leeds on the breakaway. Stack has just literally passed it right at Ethan Nwaneri's feet, and Arsenal win it back pretty comfortably. Raya. Saliba. Inside to Zubamendi. Through the lines to Declan Rice, who's breaking forward now. Arsenal might want to add a hint of a fifth. Here's Declan Rice. He's still going. He's laid it on a plate for Diamond, who takes a touch inside. Cuts it back for Nwaneri. It was well closed out by the Leeds defenders back there. And many of them there were. I think Declan Rice is the same thought as me. He wants Max Diamond to get a goal. He laid it on a plate for him there. Tried to anyway. On that occasion, he just couldn't get a glimpse at goal. Diamond. So Skelly. Fouled there in a tight space. That's going to be a free kick. You see it again. He does really well. Takes a touch, gets the ball off, but a late challenge there by Sam Byram, one of the late Leeds substitutes. He's come on for Jayden Bogle, and he's given away the free kick there. 90 seconds to go of the 90 minutes. And they wanted to take the free kick quickly there, Arsenal. And their referee Jared Gillett is not going to allow that. They're going to have to retake it. Take two then for Arsenal. Rice and Nwaneri. Nwaneri leaves it. Rice to deliver, right-footed, back post. Headed back across, and nicely covered by Lucas Perry in the Leeds goal, who gathers. Here's Byram. Rodon to Gruyev. Strauk down the left-hand side. Nice touch inside there from Noah Okafor. But he lost the ball. He's won it back. Good Munson. Gruyev. Well, Leeds certainly won't be going away with anything, but would they love to spoil the party a little bit maybe with denying Arsenal a clean sheet? They love a clean sheet, although they're not going to do it by doing that. Leeds. And the kick is far and long from Lucas Perry. And one back by Arsenal with ease. 5 additional minutes then at the end of this one. And what has been, certainly in the second half, a bit of a stroll for Arsenal. They've been asked 0 questions in the second half defensively. They're now not in a hurry to literally do anything anymore. They're just holding the ball in their own half here, Arsenal. As I was saying, we're looking forward to our Game Week 3 Game of the Week next week, which involves Arsenal when they head to Anfield next Sunday at 4:30. And already only would be the 3rd week of the season, of a 38-game season, but it's already feeling like it will be a big game at Anfield that day. 2 of the league's favourites for the title, 2 of the top favourites for the title go head to head. We'll see how Liverpool respond to Arsenal's fantastic result tonight when Liverpool head to Newcastle on Monday night. But already Man City have lost at home today. And although we can't start counting points and seeing who's ahead of who, but albeit it's still early in the season, every point is huge when you're in a title race. But as the saying goes, as long as you're still there by Christmas, if you're still in the running by Christmas, you've got every chance. Arsenal passing it around so much that they've given it away cheaply, although they win it back well. That's a nice win back. And now Waneri's on his bike here down the right hand side, plays it to Max Diamond again. He's got Goodmanson for company. Diamond steps inside, goes down. It's going to be a penalty to Arsenal. Referee took a look, he waited a split second, and after Leeds' late penalty at Ellen Road last week secured 3 points, it's going to be a penalty to Arsenal in the latter stages against Leeds that is going to surely seal the deal. Yeah, he was just caught late by Anton Stack there, Max Diamond. Yeah, it's a foul. It's quite clear in my opinion. It's a penalty. Yeah, Stack does. He just kind of throws his studs. Not intentionally, but this is Diamond's foot. His studs just kind of catch him here with his foot. And therefore it is a foul. And it brings him down. Who's going to take it? Odegaard's usually the penalty taker, is he not? Will Gyökeres take it? He's on the field. Declan Rice has got the ball under his arm anyway. Saka usually takes them as well there, and Odegaard and Saka are on the field. Rice certainly can take them. But Victor Gyökeres might get a look in here. Or imagine they give it to Max Diamond, imagine that. Yeah, the decision, the VAR were just making sure it was all tickety-boo and the decision was correct and it was a penalty, and it is a penalty to Arsenal. And it is going to be Victor Gyökeres that's going to take it, as Declan Rice was holding on to the ball for him. He scored 27 of his 28 penalties he took at Sporting. 96% success rate. He's already got one from one shot on target here for Arsenal. Can he make a 2 from 2 and get off the mark from the penalty spot for the Gunners? He knows how to find the net from these positions. Can he get a home debut brace for the Gunners to seal off what will be a fantastic first home win of the season? Victor Gyökeres against Lucas Perry. Gyökeres fires it in. 5-0 to Arsenal, and 2 on the day for that man who's making his home debut. And in response to some of the critics who said he had more touches of his hair than on the ball last week, he touches his hair in celebration and saying, that's what I do best. 2 goals for Victor Gyökeres on the day. And that is one way to kick off your home career as an Arsenal player. Arsenal 5, Leeds United 0. It's a great penalty. Perry goes the wrong way. It's right into the corner of the bottom left of the net anyway. It's a really fiery effort as well. He's put a lot behind it. That's a wonderful goal. 5-0. I'm sure he is absolutely delighted, Victor Gyökeres, that he's off the mark and off and running for Arsenal. 2 on his home debut. But he doesn't get player of the match. And I would agree, Jurrien Timber should get player of the match. 2 goals and an assist for him on the day. What a day Jurrien Timber had. In from the cold. He didn't start last week. Ben White started last week. He got injured. And Timber came off the bench. Played well against United. And then got his first Premier League start of the season. And what a way it was to start the season. There's the final whistle. After a big win at Ellen Road on Monday night, Leeds United were brought right back down to earth against one of the title favourites in Arsenal here this afternoon. thrashed 5-0. 2 goals from Victor Gyökeres, 2 goals from Jurrien Timber, and 1 from Bukayo Saka. 5-star performance from the Gunners, who lit up the show in North London. They are top of the tree after 2 games. They take that off their rivals Tottenham, who were top of the table earlier today. A big result, a big performance, everything Mikel Arteta could have asked for from his team. Leeds will go back to Elland Road knowing they have a tough task on next Saturday against Newcastle. They will know what they're capable of. Today it was going to be difficult for them. And when Jurrien Timber found the net from a corner, you felt it was going to be more of the same. It was a day of a lot of delights for Arsenal. A new signing in Ebere Echiezu announced before kick-off. 5 goals. A debut for a 15-year-old as well. I mean, what's not to love? It was Saturday night delight for Arsenal at the Emirates. Final score, Arsenal 5, Leeds United 0. And here is all of your results from yesterday and today in the Premier League. Arsenal rounding off the Saturday evening with a 5-0 victory over Leeds. Chelsea got 5 goals against West Ham in East London last night to win 5-1. Up in Manchester, it was a 2-0 win for the other side of North London as Tottenham won 2-0 at Manchester City for the 3rd time out of the last 4 meetings, and the 2nd time in a row at the Etihad without conceding. So a great start to Thomas Frank's career at Tottenham. 2 wins out of 2, 6 points out of 6, and 2 clean sheets as well. It was home clean sheets for Bournemouth, Brentford and Burnley, as all 3 of them got their first wins of the new season against Wolves, Aston Villa and Sunderland, all away from home this afternoon. It was a great day for home teams, despite Man United or Manchester City there this afternoon. Tomorrow we have some more exciting ones for you. Crystal Palace host Nottingham Forest in what has been, as I said, a lot of off-the-field drama with those 2 clubs over the summer, with that European battle where neither side knew what competition they were playing in come September. Now they do. And Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest will face off in the Premier League tomorrow at 2. Our game, though, our commentary game, is Everton against Brighton, as Everton cut the ribbons on the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Goodbye Goodison, hello Hill Dickinson at Bramley Murdoch, and Everton host Brighton tomorrow at 2. And then at 4:30, we're back in London, back in the capital, in West London, as Fulham host Manchester United from 4:30. And don't forget, the weekend concludes with a small matter of Newcastle taking on Liverpool. A feisty off-the-field battle with these 2, with the Alexander Isak saga rumbling on, and a lot of developments over the last couple of days that we will talk about on Monday night. That's our game of the week on Monday at 8. But that is it tonight. As I said, we're back tomorrow at 2 for Everton against Brighton. But tonight, as I said, Arsenal lit up the show in North London, and they are off the mark. 6 points out of a possible 6. 6 goals in 2 games. 2 clean sheets. And a 15-year-old getting his debut. Who'd have thought it? Good night.